Hey, did you ever... Ladies and gentlemen, that music can mean only one thing. That's right. It's time once again for Yorkie's Show.
Live from Mount Chuck, Pennsylvania, it's Yorkie's Show. So let's get right to it. Our first act killed on stage last week, and next week he'll begin serving 12 to life. Please welcome Rex the Sea Lion and Cecile.
Here we go.
Here's an act that recently sold out at the Greek Kebab House. Please put your hands together for Nelson the pool-playing dog. Here's an act that has a brand new video out, and they're gonna owe some money because it was supposed to be returned to Blockbuster. Give it up for the 3 Dog Nights. You might have seen these next two on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Gum and Spit. Our next act is currently on a 3-city tour. So far, he's seen the Statue of Liberty, Independence Hall, and if the guide lets them, Lincoln's Washroom. Say hello to Rhythmy Blue. And now, here's an act who's on the A-list of performers, especially if they're arranged alphabetically. Alfie, the skateboarding dog. Well, that's our show. Don't forget to tune in next time. So long, everybody.
As you know, a bunch of cities in North America had a big blackout a little while back, and so a lot of animals didn't get a chance to watch the show that week, which they're now attributing to a lot of cranky behavior observed in our pets. No, really, it's true. Look at this. For instance, take a look at this bird. He misses the animal segment one day, and he takes it out on everybody. Look how touchy he gets when some guy just wants to rearrange some pictures on a bookshelf. Look, I understand animals in the news is video recorder material, but that's no reason to take it out on your friend. Can you blame him for wanting to iron the minute the electricity comes back on? And hey, does missing a moose in the mud or a dog biting water from a hose mean that much that you'd get annoyed by a goofy little toy? Hey, lighten up! They've already rerun the Blue Ribbon special like 6 times. Believe me, you'll have a chance to see the episode you missed again, and again, and again. Now, come on. This overturning the outhouse bit is something frustrated kids did in the 40s. Chill out, will ya? You take it easy on that faucet, mister. Look, I know all about the parties where viewers have fun trying to guess if my shirts are gonna match my pants. But believe me, I'll have a full season of dorky clothes for everyone to bust me about. Hey, calm down. So the electricity went off. Chances are your blank TV is a lot clearer than most of our home videos are anyway. I gotta tell you, there's a guy on staff here who does the greatest imitation of a producer. But enough about my boss. He has other great talents as well, such as putting together segments like these on Animal Imitators. Now, a lot of impersonators do the king. But very few do an impersonation of the king standing next to a goat. This, of course, is the older king, recreating his hound dog days. Look how in character this deer is. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Corleone. Ladies and gentlemen, a really, really famous singer, shivering in the cold. Okay, well, at least she's got the shivering in the cold part down. Here's one that needs no introduction. The blonde screen goddess in that famous over-the-subway great shot. Yep, it's Bela Lugosi and Bram Stoker's Dracula. And here's a cat lip-syncing the conversation of the foreign tourists taking the video.
Что-то, может, у него это паралич?
Паралич, похоже.
Или котик?
And now it's time for the game that's on everybody's minds.
What happens next?
Here's how it works. We'll show you a clip sent in from a home viewer. Then we'll stop it, and you try to guess what happens next. So here's the situation. A young woman is conducting an art appreciation class when a small rat stops by to observe her work. So what happens next? Joe?
Does the rat A, knock the red bucket of paint thinner over? B, begin looking at the world from a different perspective? Or C, study art through the Dark Ages?
The answer to what happens next when we return with more of the planet's funniest animals after these words from our sponsors.
Coming up, animals attached at the hip, or whatever that is. A different kind of kiddie pool. Plus, a bird with a loud ringing in his ear. Make that his mouth. And where they get the sound effects for those jungle movies. When we return with more of the planet's funniest animals only on Animal Planet.
Welcome back. And now for the answer to...
What happens next?
Remember, here's the situation. A rat stops by to audit an art appreciation class. So what happens next?
Does the rat A, knock this red bucket of paint thinner over? B, begin looking at the world from a different perspective? Or C, study art through the Dark Ages? Let's watch.
If you said B, Begin looking at the world from a different perspective, or C, study art through the dark ages, you'd be correct. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of
What happens next?
Did you see this thing in the paper? This thing about that big strike they had over there in India? I'll tell you, it must have been pretty bad. Check out this footage. Yeah, apparently cattle herder local 207 went out on strike over there, and they were hiring scabs right off the trees to herd cattle. Boy, look how sloppy the herding is. You never have that with a union guy. You know, I used to make fun of people like this, but lately I've really gotten into that whole scrapbook craze. You know, over the weekend, I was over at my friend Tater's house, and you should see the beautiful pages he's done. Check it out. That's my friend Tater there. Look at that beautiful work he's done. Look at that one, for instance. That's a shot of one of his bird friends mistaking ping pong balls for her soon-to-be offspring. The better picture would have been the slam shot of the human playing ping pong, which got yolk all over the place. Here's Tater's little cousin Steve in his obedience school play. They put on a little program about the solar system. He was Saturn. Here's a shot of Tater's little brother Jimmy when he was a kid. Boy, the pool table should have tipped us off back then. Jimmy later got involved with the wrong bunch and ended up at the pound. Here's Tater's cousin Rolo, who lives next to the big tire manufacturer. As you can see, he's still benefiting from that recall a couple years back. Tater's friend Nugent made the album too. Nugent has the uncanny ability to detect the location of cesspools and dead stuff on the lawn. And when he does, well, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And here's a picture of his Aunt Teresa. And boy, when she rings the dinner bell, everybody in the neighborhood comes around. Wow, it must be something really good tonight. Here's something we've never really talked about on this program. After the animals you see in this show get their big windfall, you know, the $100 and free t-shirt, their lives suddenly change. Everybody wants a piece of them. They develop many, many fans. Some of them, stalkers, who want to latch onto that fame, and let's face it, the t-shirt. Here now is a powerful expose on the funny animals and their not so funny fans. This is Hank. Hank appeared on the Planet's Funniest Animals last year. But after the entire world saw him do flips, then land into a small bowl of sunflower seeds, his life dramatically changed. It wasn't just the money and the silkscreen t-shirt he had won. It was two fans who, for 8 months, stalked his house and invaded his space, namely his exercise wheel. Hank later realized that a shirt, a Franklin, and fame was not worth it. Several seasons ago, Leo the dog hung from the limb of a tree while Elvis's hound dog played in the background. The country was mesmerized. One of those viewers was Spunky, a little disturbed pooch who wanted one thing to add to his collection of Hollywood memorabilia: Leo's now famous rope. A tough price to pay for fame. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. Soon, other excited memorabilia seekers began visiting Leo's home and tearing any limb they could find off the few remaining live trees. I think we all remember where we were when we first saw the classic clip entitled, "Goat Hops Up on Back of Man." After the laughs died down and he attempted to slip back into relative obscurity, Chester Manning had his own back problems. Macy the rabbit drank water from a toilet last season. Then his life quickly spiraled down the drain. Soon, crazed fans were letting themselves into his Beverly Hills kitchen and offering him other drinks. Now, thanks to his fame, Macy is hooked on hot chocolate with marshmallows. Millions of dogs around the world take little things like digging a hole in the backyard and fetching sticks for granted. But playing with a stick is something Snuffy may never enjoy doing alone again. Sure, it's novel when a pig nurses a monkey as Miss Hattie did on this show not too long ago. But her glory came with a huge price. Namely, hordes of thirsty fans who also crave attention. Here at the planet's funniest animals, your safety is paramount. And since we've made up that it's National Home Security Month for this bit, here is Officer Ronald Habish from the LAPD Crime Unit to give us some tips on how to keep criminals out. Officer Habish?
Thank you, Matt. At the LAPD Crime Unit, we urge residents to close their curtains when they are not at home. If a potential burglar sees a TV set or a stereo system, so on and so forth, he may be tempted to break in. Next tip, don't build an outside access tunnel. This is as good as putting out a welcome mat that says, "Here, take my valuables." Residents can now purchase locks that can be installed on the outside of the bathroom door. This way, if a suspect should break in through the bathroom window, he won't be able to get into the main house. Matt, in spite of what some salesmen may tell you, aluminum storm doors are not security doors. Check the specs before purchasing. Old windows need to be replaced. This one is almost 80 years old. Buy a new one, put a lock on it. Don't let this happen to you.
It's not the show. Funny animals have bad days, too. We'll be back after these commercials.
Coming up, a dog who lights up any room he's in. A girl who keeps her butterfly collection on her face. Plus, meet a monkey's uncle. And don't forget to put trash in its place. When we return with more of the planet's funniest.
Boy, this was sad. I mean, can you believe the luck? Last week, the dome light and inside trunk lamp on our producer's custom sports car with the custom package went out, all on the same day. So what we did was we all pulled together and had one of our planet's funniest animals fundraisers to help them out. Here's what happened. We had a pretty good turnout at the fundraiser, and no wonder. There were a lot of fun games for the kids. The hippo toss was especially a hit. And no one lost sight of what this event was all about. Harold the moon-walking tiger, who began his career with our producer 30 years ago in New York, donated his time and talents to the event. It's really wonderful to see how caring others are in this business when one of their own is in need. You know, most events like these feature face painting for the kids. Well, here's the Planet's Funniest Animals version. The object here is, if the emu goes to the pocket with the money, that money goes directly to the Dome Light Fund set up to benefit our producer. Whenever you hold something like this, you can always expect at least one nutcase trying to get in uninvited. That's where our security bird came in. All in all, it was a pretty successful event. And even though we're all dead tired, we were able to raise enough money. Not only for the lights, but for a set of custom chrome wheels and an upgraded stereo system. Now it's time for our Planet's Funniest Animals time capsule. For years, they've been the unanimous choice to taunt Spanish matadors. They've ruined countless China shops, and Wall Street uses them to represent a strong, robust stock market and economy. But how did the bull become the ultimate symbol of aggression? Well, for the answer, we'll have to go all the way back to 1932 in this little-known clip. That's right. It was October 3rd, 1932, when a pig named Jesse poked fun at Deke the Bull for not being mentioned in the children's song, Old MacDonald. A scuffle ensued, and the pig humiliated Deke in front of all his bovine peers. The bull as a species has been overcompensating ever since. You might not know this about me, but I love great clothes. I don't ever get to wear great clothes, but I love them. So it's only natural that I'd love a good fashion show. Here's what they're wearing this year. Hey guys, the 70s are back. Justin is wearing a powder blue suspender tuxedo made from all synthetic materials. Perfect for the casual party or formal award ceremony. Pink is not just for summer anymore. Kevin is wearing a unicorn faux wool design with complementing jack-o'-lantern handbag. 3 Christmas cheers for designer Deborah Carey, who believes getting lit up at a holiday office party doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. No one's yet been able to capture that giant squid, but what a giant splash Joan Nash has made in the fashion world with her squidlicious green veil, made entirely of rayon, that do-anything fabric. Why does Grandma have the chills? Maybe it's because of the latest casual wear by Neiman Fredericks for around the house or a drive to the cardiologist. Remember the reversible jacket? Well, Niles Chang has finally created the first convertible 10-in-1 hat. Whether you're going artsy or going out to the stadium. You say you want to go camping, but you don't have a thing to wear? Well, how about something from Jeffrey Austin's Campy Tent collection? Hey, got style? Sure do. And for the sake of time, let's just bring out the rest of our runway models wearing the latest casual cowwear from Sydney April. Bravo, girls. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that we have to cool down the tubes on our state-of-the-art equipment. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Coming up, some very gripping cat footage. A Halloween tale with a few good twists. Plus, a squirrel who's going through a special screening process. When we return with more of the planet's funniest animals only on Animal Planet.
Welcome back. Now it's time for Animals in the News. Today, police and safety officials are still searching for the culprit who left dirty needles around a lion playground in Nairobi, Kenya. 2 horses in Haverson, Wisconsin were sued by the National Football League when it was learned that they were performing unauthorized impersonations of the logo owned by the Denver Broncos. A heroes parade is scheduled today for Snookers the Terrier, who used his body as a shield and took a shot of water intended for his congressman owner. No one's claiming responsibility, but a school-age rhino was seriously soiled yesterday after someone stuck their foot out while he was playing charge. The first human to ever come back from the dead revealed to reporters that the so-called pearly gates are actually wooden and protected by a dog named Herbert. Well, the tallies are in, and it's official. The #1 surefire pickup line among vervet monkeys is, no, I mean it. I really can get you a part in the movies. You know, a little bit earlier, we received a very special request from our email. But we're gonna do the show anyway. That said, we don't mind taking other special requests like these.
How about more ballet on TV, Matt? And no guys hopping around on stage. Dogs, Matt. Dogs.
Hey, I'm not a ballet guy either, but this is really something.
Matt, I'd like to see 2 cats climbing up a lady's leg while she makes breakfast. What do you say?
Great request. Here you go. Now, you weren't clear on whose breakfast you wanted to see, so I hope this is all right.
If I could see a cat that acts like a dog, that would be just like a birthday present.
Happy birthday, buddy. Glad we could come through.
Shake, shake, shake. Good boy. Roll over, roll over, roll over. Good boy. Good job. You can do it.
Hey, Matt, I know squirrels can climb trees, but how about showing one climbing a patio screen door looking for a walnut?
Well, I think we've got something like that, and here it is. Oh, wait. No, I'm mistaken. That's actually a peanut.
He wants that nut badly.
You know, I can't tell you how many times people stop me on the street asking to see video of an elderly gentleman, a dog, and a piece of Tupperware, all on a king-size waterbed. Well, all right already. Here it is. Isn't it a little sad that this guy has nothing better to do on Valentine's Day? Well, we had a really great show for you today. Don't forget to join me next time when I tell you how great that show was. So long, everybody.
You're on Animal Planet. Sit, stay.
Searching the globe to find animals good enough to be called funny. It's the planet's funniest animals. The animal show that doesn't bite. So jump up on the good couch and meet your basic garden variety dog. Plus, we'll show you how to get hot dogs up off your carpeting. And a hyper squirrel from Too Much Watermelon. All that and much, much more on the planet's funniest animals. And now, a man who actually saw it rain cats and dogs, but that was during the psychedelic 60s, Matt Gallant.
Hi, and welcome to the planet's funniest animals. It's like having thousands of animals right there in your living room without all that obnoxious licking. It's interesting. All animals have different ways of eating. Some use their claws like a fork. Some have long beaks to suck up their food. And others, well, others invite themselves to your home and eat up your food when you didn't invite them there. But parents are like that. Anyway, here's a brief menu of animals and their eating habits. One thing you should know when dining with ducklings is that they have a tendency to dive right into their food. They also have a tendency to leave a certain gamey duck taste in your cereal. This playful monkey is a firm believer in the concept of sharing. Even if the people who dine with him aren't. Actually, I think one of the diners is finally warming up to the idea. Here's a dog who insists on eating like a bird. A very big, big bird. Some animals prefer to dine alone. The problem is, when you do that, there's no one around to pass you the appetizer. Some animals are only comfortable eating seconds. And thirds. And fourths. And then there are the animals who enjoy beginning their meal with dessert. Before biting into a side of hand. Everyone knows there's nothing a hedgehog enjoys more than a night out at an all-you-can-eat buffet. The only problem is, once he's had his way with all the food, no one else feels like eating. Some animals are very concerned about the health of others. Here's a cat, for example, who insists on preventing his host from overeating. Then there's the other type of considerate diner who's always careful not to mess up the kitchen. However, nobody seems too concerned about this $15,000 Persian rug in the living room. Well, it's time once again to go to our mailbag. This letter comes to us from Mr. Todd Hanson of Berwick, Pennsylvania, who says, Dear Matt, about 25 years ago on a show called Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, I saw some footage of what looked to be a skunk balancing an acorn on its nose. My wife insists it's a badger. We've been arguing nonstop ever since. Can you settle this? Well, Todd, we've located that footage and you're both wrong. Actually, it was a cat inside an aquarium teasing a fish. And here it is. Let's see. Skunk. Badger. I can totally see how you can make that mistake. But actually, the cat does look like he's balancing something on his nose. Okay, here's the situation. You've got a date. Well, what are you gonna wear? You have cool pants, great shoes, but no t-shirt. Well, send us your funny video of your pet at a party, a wedding, in the backyard, wherever. Just make sure no animals were harmed in the making of your video. And if we use it, we'll send you a Planet's Funniest Animal t-shirt. Just like that. Wardrobe complete. Plus, we'll give you $100 to cover meal and movie. Do we care about your social life or what? So send your funny stuff to...
The Planet's Funniest Animals. Post Office Box 2904, Toluca Lake, California. 91610-0904. Remember, if we use your tape, we'll send you $100 and a Planet's Funniest Animals t-shirt.
We have to take a break now, and if you're not receiving commercials during this next break, please call your local cable company.
Coming up, brushing up on oral hygiene. The give and take of relationships. Ugly mugshots. When we return to the Planet's Funniest Animals.
One of the important lessons I learned in owning my first pet was the responsibility of grooming. I also learned some other important lessons along the way, which I don't want to go into right now. But needless to say, if you're coughing up fur balls afterward, you're doing it wrong. Anyway, take a look at some of the ways people pamper their pets. Welcome to Salon de Coiffure. This pet's owners are spoiling him with a hot bath. The problem is, the water is rising because of this brown and white clump of hair that's clogging the drain. All parrots love a warm, soothing bubble bath. Because you can never be too clean to go back in and walk on the bottom of your bird cage. Here's a bird who loves having his feathers blow-dried. What he objects to are the hot curlers on his wings. Ooh, that hot air feels good. Everyone knows that a dog's mouth is 50 times cleaner than a human's. Of course, that rule doesn't apply to dogs who use their owner's toothbrush. Now, if only his owner can teach him to gargle and rinse. This cat is being treated to an at-home beauty procedure. We should warn you, home liposuction is dangerous and should only be performed by a professional. Here's another amateur learning a lesson about liposuction. Fat from the thighs cannot be sucked out of the nose. Of course, animals who can afford it prefer to be groomed by a competent professional. This cat seems to be having second thoughts. Then again, sometimes competence is a subjective opinion. Well, it's time for Animals in the News. In Orville, Ohio, an odd occurrence happened last week when instead of raining cats and dogs, it rained elephants and truck drivers. Whispers the cat was unanimously voted out of obedience school this week for constantly reminding the teacher 5 minutes before the bell that she forgot to give everybody homework. The chimp on the left is both amazed and shocked. It seems as though he just made it into the Guinness Book of World Records for passing the largest gallstone. Thanks to a major ACLU court victory, it's now illegal for the Rockettes to turn away any dancer just because she refuses to shave her legs. Investigative reporters overseas snapped this disturbing photo at a French bottled water company. Here we see a local worker drawing water from the so-called mountain spring. The town of Mercer, North Dakota, opened its first wild human park this weekend. Here we see a horse feeding a dangerous pigtailed schoolgirl. It needs to be careful, though, because if it's this close to the car, chances are it's probably sick. You know, scientists have recently realized that fragile amphibians, such as frogs, are very useful indicators of healthy air quality and a sound ecosystem. They also tell us that they look really cool in those beer commercials. Take a look now at some other cool animals used to sell stuff.
Eager for Weaver? Weaver chicken nuggets, the taste kids have to have.
The animals in this next commercial are advertising something I can really get behind. I use it every day and I love it. I don't know exactly what the product is, but see, if I say that, the sponsors send me a lot of free stuff. I guarantee you this next commercial is gonna weigh you down with laughs.
Daddy, can we see the duck?
Sure.
Some whole grain breads are just too heavy. Try Country Hearth Breads. Whole grain taste that's hearty, not heavy.
Isn't it funny how during the commercial breaks, all the little video animals disappear, then return? Well, here they go again. We'll be right back.
Coming up, a giraffe who only takes plastic. Exercising with a back problem. Plus the original mop top. And more clean fun. When we return to the planet's funniest animal.
I love my dog, but sometimes he just gets in the way. I try to take a nap, he sprawls out on the couch. I try to get dressed, he takes my socks. I try to deal with a spider in the house, and he blocks the doorway so I can't go running out screaming. Anyway, here's some other animals who have a knack for getting in the way. Like this dog, for instance. He wants to make sure that Miss Green Thumbs here is gonna drop the fertilizer in the right place. You know, when you're trying to do something to better yourself, the last thing you need is someone always getting on your back about it. Here's a dog who thought he'd help out in the garden by turning over the soil. Would probably be a much neater job if he turned into a garden weasel. It may look like these dogs are irritated by the vacuum noise. What they're really trying to do is rescue the fifth Dachshund who was accidentally sucked into the bag. In spite of what it looks like, this dog is actually helping. See, the mop cleans and wets the floor, while the fine hairs on the belly of the puppy dry and buff the attractive surface. A helpful cat is one who gathers up his own garbage. A really helpful cat is one who also gathers up his master's garbage. But what's not so helpful is the game of garbage bag piñata about to be played in the family room. The animals you're about to see in this next segment aren't actors. They just steal the scenes and a lot of other stuff. Here we see a giraffe taking a food storage bowl from a couple of animal park visitors. I guess that just proves something bad's bound to happen when you drive around with open containers. Who knew a giraffe had a thing for Tupperware? Here's a little puppy who apparently ordered his food a la carte. See, there it is being carted off as we speak. This big dog has just taken this little dog's bone. The little dog is trying to calmly convince him to give it back. Of course, this just goes to show, if you can't get results the conventional way, it's often best to work things out under the table. Notice how cute this ferret is squirreling away these stuffed toys. What you don't see is that he's also squirreled away the refrigerator, TV, oven, and 2 small children into his room as well. When you're a cat, there's nothing better than a nice bowl of milk. Until your milk becomes duck soup. When you're a coffee drinker, you don't want anyone touching your first cup of the day. Maybe he should switch to decaf. We've been doing this show for a while now, and I thought it was high time we acknowledge some of the little people who make this first-class production work around here. So, if we can just get a camera on Al DeBevic, the guy who keeps my dressing room absolutely spotless. Okay, there he is. You can't really see it here, but there's actually a refrigerator, wet bar, and big TV screen in there. I only wish Al would stop bringing his dog to the studio. The dust this dog kicks up is driving my sinuses crazy. Thanks, Al, for doing such a great job. But do yourself a favor. Leave that mutt at home, will you? Well, it's time to say goodbye. But before we go, let me leave you with this thought. The next time you're out in the backyard playing horseshoes, think of all the poor horses who don't have any. Goodbye. Take care.